Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up, people? Welcome to the Wearing Hats Saying Things. Oh, okay, do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, people.
Yeah.
Go on, I'm trying to think where it's from. There's like in a film, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh yes, we did, people. And they're like landing
yes,
somewhere.
we did.
Yeah, it's like,
Sounds like a Family Guy.
oh yes, we did, people. Welcome to the Wearing Hats Saying Things podcast with myself and Ronan Gaffney. The podcast that takes so long to make that you start it in one decade and only air it in the other. So yeah, it's pretty.
Some say lazy.
Some say lazy.
It's really just true craftsmanship.
Yeah, true craftsmanship. It's it's a new decade, which is pretty incredible. It's 2020. This is a year that's been in, I can't think like how many songs and like how many like quoted and so much stuff.
Yeah,
like
2020 vision.
Yeah, 2020
Classic.
vision. In 2020 this.
And now
will
you
happen.
could say that literally all of us have 2020 vision because we're all looking in this year.
The year.
But if anyone actually says that to you, just slap them. It's a terrible joke.
Yeah.
But I bet someone's going to say that to
Someone's already made it. Someone's
already told me.
Someone has already told me.
It was 1:12, and someone said that to me.
That's for saying it.
That's for saying it. Get out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so it's a new decade, which is pretty exciting, and which means, I don't know, new year always means like new prospects. It's like sometimes a new leaf for people. It can sort of act as just like I'm going to get this done now because last month didn't matter. But this month is like a new page, like compared to any other
month.
Month.
Both of our birthdays were last month.
Also, yeah.
But they didn't matter. They didn't matter at all.
December's a big month, yeah, for both of us,
time.
actually. Yeah, we've got, obviously, everyone's got Christmas. I've got a birthday just before Christmas. Ryan's got a birthday just after Christmas. And then, you've got the overhype of New Year. What's your plans are? What are you up to? Like, where are you going? Like,
I completely avoided the overhype this year.
Yeah.
That's why I said to my manager, I think, a week before.
Your manager? What, you've been sponsored now?
Yeah. My manager. My agent. I said to my agent, I was like, just put me down for New Year's if no one's working, because none of us had plans.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too bad actually working New Year's.
Yeah.
I worked in a pub, so it was like I was still like able to drink basically, and like, have a good time.
You're still able to do what you would usually probably do. Actually,
and I wasn't pouring like on New Year's. I was talking to Sarah, who was at the Beehive where you were. And she was saying she one of our friends.
Yeah.
No, a stranger we don't know, but I was talking to her. And she was actually pouring like pints on like 12 o'clock, and I was like, that's terrible. That's just awful news.
Yeah. You'd think that they'd sort of go like, right, everyone stop for like, I don't know, for a minute or something.
That
just
was
to
the
be
worst
like,
thing to have happened to
Happy
this
New
year.
Year, and then you get the drinks in.
Yeah,
but hold your drinks for that time being.
So
you were doing that. I was out of the country for New Year's. So I was in Budapest.
I was like, you were at the Beehive, right?
I was not at the I was not. I was not in a Beehive.
So far away.
I was in I don't even know what you'd call it, a Buddha hive of some sort. It was pretty cool. There's some, I don't know if you've never been Budapest, by the way. It's a beautiful city, really beautiful. And fun fact, Buda and Pest are actually two different places as well. And the River Danube runs through the middle of it. And
are they two like cities, or are they both like together? Budapest, which is one.
I think
city.
it is like one.
Both, are they like districts?
I'm pretty something like that. I'm not. Do you know what? I probably should have looked up.
Yeah, why don't you know these answers?
I probably should have actually.
So talking about like you know it.
Yeah, like I'm talking like I didn't had loads of knowledge.
Budapest, to be fair.
But so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's a really beautiful city. Loads of places to see. Loads of bits to see there. Food's really good. If you love a bit of goulash. Actually, I didn't have it when I was there because I wasn't eating meat when I was there. But it was pretty nice. Yeah. It wasn't nothing meaty, but it was very nice food there. So I definitely recommend everything if you ever want to go somewhere. And it's dirt cheap. Pints were like, I don't know, the equivalent of like a quid, £1.25 or something, or like a quid. Like in some places, it was ridiculous. And they don't measure out the alcohol there. Like when they pour in like a spirit, it's just like they just chuck it in. That was pretty cool.
That's dangerous.
It was a dangerous. Tell you what, it was a dangerous game, Ronan. It was
game that we played.
It was a very dangerous game. Yeah,
sounds fantastic.
Yeah, got so drunk on the day before New Year's, so the New Year's Eve that we couldn't drink on New Year's Eve because we were pretty sure we got poisoned pretty badly, alcohol poison.
Pretty sure.
I'm a pussy, but it was Yeah, it was good. Like, it was nice because on New Year's Day we actually like didn't have a hangover. We got to do loads of stuff, so it was good fun. Like, so yeah, Budapest. So that was my New Year's, and Ronan's pub was Ronan's New Year's.
Yeah, it was a fantastic time to be in a pub.
It was a fantastic time.
That was the only time I've actually spent New Year's in a pub as well, and it was like my pub. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I felt
my
like
pub, not yours.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about a lot because even though that's quite the opposite of what happens a lot when you're actually at work, but I was like. I wasn't in charge. Obviously, I had like a supervisor, but I was like owning the pub scene. I was making sure stuff was done.
Making sure people have a good
I
time.
at the end of a shift, I'm always quite like glad that I've done it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when I start my shift, I'm always like the opposite. I'm like, I hate this job. God damn, I hate it. But then like halfway through, it gets alright, and then at the end, I'm like satisfied with the work I've done. Usually, unless it's just been an absolutely awful day. But yeah, no, it was quite nice. It was quite nice working New Year's, and I thought it would be terrible, and I thought I'd hate it, but it was alright. And then I ended at like 2, left 4, and then went out afterwards to a little party, a little cheeky party. Nice. But I was like quite glad there was like more of just a gathering, like an after party.
Okay, yeah.
So it wasn't like everyone there was kind of drunk, but it wasn't like crazy. Yeah, I was like walked in like relatively sober compared to the others, just like, and it was like popping off. It was just like, you know, a lot of people that just were like chilling. Yeah, they were just chilling, hanging out, which was like pretty much what I needed after that like long shift. And then went home pretty late. Nice. And then I had to work New Year's Day as well,
that is
which is probably the worst part of this boring story.
Yeah, and I feel bad for anyone who has to work New Year's Day. Actually.
It is awful.
Like commiserations to anyone who has to work New Year's Day. Your life sucks. Like it really does. I'm sorry, but that is just awful to have to do.
That day.
Like, yeah, not gonna lie. But yeah, good New Year's. It was very cold actually in my years in Budapest, and do you know what I had to wear to keep myself warm? A hat. And you know why I had to wear a hat? Because hats are cool, and that's why we make this podcast, because we say things and wear hats.
That's right.
Which means
both those things.
What hat are you wearing, Ronan?
Well, my hat in no way keeps me warm. I'll tell you now. Well, there's a tiny bit of warmth in it. Can't really have a hat without a tiny bit of warmth.
Why is this hat not giving you warmth?
I mean, like, glorious. It's just not very like you're wearing like a hoodie hat.
It is not giving you.
It's just got a lot of like draft on the back of my neck. It's I don't know.
I feel like it could. I feel there's more chance of it blowing off from a draft than it keeping off.
Yeah,
a
no.
draft.
Like I don't get it. So, all right, okay. So all right.
Yeah.
So this hat is probably the worst hat that I can imagine, bar like a sombrero, for like when it's really windy.
Yeah.
And yet it's literally for wearing a scene, and I'm like, that is the dumbest thing. Like, who? I don't understand. But it's true. So I am wearing a tricorn, which is essentially a pirate hat.
Yeah. Shiver me timbers, he's being extra.
Shiver me hat. But basically it's just, I don't know, we say Captain Jack, he wears one of these. But this one's like a black one, it's felt, it's fancy dress. And I'm not a real pirate with a real hat that I wear at the sea. But yeah. I love it because it's fantastic, and I thought this is the hat that I'm going to wear on the first podcast of 2020 or the 2020s because it's hilariously fantastic. Roaring
20s. It's actually weird, actually, now thinking about it. Sorry, just going off. This is like straying away a little bit from the hats, and we'll go back onto it.
You go where you want.
Like we're now in the 20s, whereas we refer to the 20s as like the 1920s, in the 1920s, but we're now in our own 20s era, which is really weird. Yeah, so it's like the Roaring 20s has returned, and it's well, I mean, I don't know how, you know, they call it Roaring 20s obviously for a reason. This seems like it's gonna be like World War 20s. I don't know.
Is that why?
I don't know. Nah, that's speculation.
That's
it's
not the last century.
We'll dump that out probably.
Maybe.
But anyway, back. I don't know.
But
yeah, no. So yeah, nice pirate hat. Got a couple of X's on the side as well.
Oh yeah. Only on the front too.
That's nice though. I think there's big pointers on the back.
I don't really get. I'm guessing these X's were traditionally to actually pin it to the hat. If anyone still hasn't got any idea what I'm talking about, which I don't really know how to describe it if you don't. It's basically
check the Insta page.
The crown of this is like quite rigid and like bowly. It's like if you pictured a bowler hat that's how bowly this is. But it's like it's like a huge, like if I take these all out, it's just an enormous, it's like an enormous sombrero. Like
I did not
you
expect
could picture
that.
this hat now in like an Agatha Christie,
something
like that. Where
you can imagine, like Dame
Martha
Martha walking down the pathway, you know.
But yeah, so you get, so it's like kind of like a huge brim, and then you fold it up 3 ways, and you attach it to the crown.
Nice.
And that is why it's a tricorn.
Yeah, nice.
I guess.
Do you know what?
I'm saying that as if I know, but I just suspect.
I was not expecting that
to reveal
something more.
Well, I guess the
X's
here because they were originally like actually them being stitched to it.
Yeah.
Whereas
on this it's just like you know, you can do what you want with it.
Got it from Amazon.
For ease and stuff, yeah.
And I didn't get it back.
Yeah.
Tell me more, sir. Yours does look like it would warm you up.
Yeah, so as I foreshadowed a few minutes ago, I got this hat in Budapest. It was really cold. It was like -5, I think, on one of the days, and we were bloody freezing. So, you know, we were shivering our timbers, as you might say.
Shivering the timbers.
Yeah, we were actually shivering, and so we thought we need something a little bit warmer. So we went past this nice shop with some nice hats and nice woolly stuff. And I found this, this rather nice black beanie. It's just the reason I like it, right, is because it's just like a plain black beanie. It's got like a nice
It's got like a little bit of a pattern on it. Like, it's not like a crazy pattern, but it's like enough to be like just not like boring.
Pretty plain. Yeah, it's enough to be not boring. Actually, yeah, that's true. It's enough to be not boring, but it's got a little bit better. It's like a kind of woven, like it's almost like an 8. An 8 shape on each one bit.
Like those 8s that you used to draw in.
Yeah, the ones you used to draw that look like S's in school.
3 lines
looks
and
like
3 lines, and then you do all the
other
lines.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that, but more of an 8. And then on the other parts, it looks like sort of diamonds. It sort of fits in between the 8s.
Tangent from that, just because the 8s came in. Like, I watched this. I mean, I'm incredibly sad, so I watched this YouTube video literally about the origins of that 8.
Oh yeah.
And no, there isn't any. It's just it goes back for so long. It's like ridiculously old, and yet so many people when you talk like if you're listening to this and you didn't put 3 lines vertically and then beneath them 3 lines in line with those, and then make like either an S or an 8 out of them or whatever you call it, like. You're lying to me. Everyone did that, and it just doesn't like where it come from.
Everyone did it.
And if anyone ever claimed to me like they knew who it was who did the first one, I would not believe them.
I remember thinking in school that like I went to a school called Sandringham. Obviously, people around here will know who that is. And yeah, with the S obviously at the front, you know, everyone would do that S like the three lines and above and below, and then join it up. And I literally, when I was in year 7, I thought that was like a Sandringham thing. I thought they invented that. I was like, this clever school, this crafty school, have invented something so cunning by doing 6 lines and making students join them up and making an S. I thought that was such a great thing.
You know what that is?
Turns out, actually, it wasn't from there.
That was something that we did last decade.
Yeah,
I haven't done this decade.
I haven't done this decade at all.
And I probably won't.
Yeah, and I probably won't either, because that was... I'm too old for that now. But I have, so the rest of this hat, actually, going on to
is the brim like pinned up as well?
No, so it's not pinned up, so you can take it down, but it is like, so on both halves, in fact, no, it's not even on both halves of it, thinking about it now, it's just on one part of it, it's really like, it's got like a seam, it's like stitched together, like, on both parts to join it together, like, it's like a stitching through like one part of the hats, kind of, or on a lot of the parts of the hats, just keep it kind of, together. That's just how they make hats. I don't know. I don't know if you know how they do this. Together. I'm not sure, but it's just how they do it, I think. And it's just pretty strong. It's a pretty strong hat. And then not only that though, the maddest thing about it, the best thing about this hat,
lord!
Yeah. So I've turned it inside out. You turn it inside out, and it's like a furry, like inside, like I'm talking like proper, like pimp's coat fur, like that proper, like furriness.
It's actually way softer than it looks, and it looks so soft.
So like, imagine, I'm in cold Budapest, -5. Slap that on the banger. Not a problem, sir. Not a problem at all.
No problem anymore.
Sir. Yeah,
problems no longer
sorted. Yeah. It was So that has kept my head warm the entirety of my New Year's. And
non-stop.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I don't usually wear these sort of hats like back in the UK, so it's kind of sad because I'm not gonna probably wear it that much. Like,
but you wear it when it gets real cold.
I will wear it if it gets really cold. If it snows or something, then this hat will come out again, no doubt. But yeah, for now it's kind of just gonna sit there. But I always have good memories of this hat because
and you know that's the one you got in Hungary. It's quite. I like having things that sort of come from other countries and stuff because I always like it's always just like
it's like memorabilia.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, nostalgia and stuff.
Much.
So yeah, like I always think of it as this hat I got when I was on holiday. And it kept my head warm, most importantly. So
most important,
it kept my head warm.
Not just a fashion statement, my friend.
Not just a fashion statement, but also comfort, all in the name of keeping warm. So yeah,
the name keeping warm.
Yeah, bloody magical. Yeah. Right. Anyway, without further ado, so that's our hats. We'll go back to them.
Back to 2020.
We'll go back to 2020. 2020. And just I mean, it's been actually 10 years. We were working this out. It's been about 10 years since we first met. So we've known each other. Yeah. So it's been a whole decade that we've known each other as well.
Decade of joy.
A decade of joy.
Pure joy.
And it's been a fun decade. Like I think certainly for our age, like it's been one of those 10 years where like
pinnacle time.
It is a very pinnacle time. It's what we've gone through school in that time. We've gone through secondary school. We've then done like our A levels and stuff, or like gone to college and done stuff there, and then gone off to university and like done a whole degree.
Yeah, did an entire
degree, which we pretty much ended this decade with. Like I guess because we graduated in November, so that was like
so that was like just at the end
so
of it.
Just at the end of the decade.
So we like started off in like what was it must have been year 10.
Yeah, probably year 10. Yeah.
So
that was like 2011 or 2012 or something.
Because we joined. We were the 2008 year of secondary.
Yeah.
So we were in. Can't have been in year 11 and.
No, we weren't year 10. No. I wasn't year 11.
That's outrageous.
We met each other. It would have been Harvesters.
No, I'm going backwards. I'm going the other way. So it would have been year 9 in.
Oh, year 9 in 2010. 2010. Yeah, 2010 year 9. Yeah.
So we've pretty much done like most of our adult education. All of it because we weren't adults then. So all of our adult education. All of it. And since in that decade,
some hit puberty quicker than that. So you never know. They could have been pretty much an adult. Like
people with beards in year 8.
Yeah, there was a few.
Yeah, that's not like it wasn't like people who have beards in year 8. I knew people with beards in year 8.
There was.
And if you didn't, you're crazy.
Yeah, you crazy.
I think it's been odd thinking that we just spent like pretty much that whole time in education.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, in fact, that entire time up until literally like halfway through this year, we were like actually doing an education. Apart from there was like one. Actually, even for us actually, because we had even after sixth form, for me even after sixth form, I went to college, picked up a couple of things. Well, picked up one thing there, so I could get what I wanted to get more points to get onto the course I wanted to do. Exactly, yeah, not just go to some like the University of Bolton. Sorry if you go there, but the University of Bolton, which is I think if I remember,
sorry if you
it's
go
still there. Like it was like the worst uni in the UK. It was one of the worst unis in the UK. Ooh, that's so judgmental. I shouldn't look down on it, but. Yeah, like I don't want to go to the University of Bolton.
Are nice, but,
I bet the people are lovely, but I bet the teaching is not that great, not that nice.
But the people are lovely.
Yeah, but the people are lovely. I didn't want to go Bolton. I want to go Bournemouth. So obviously stuck through, and then same with you. You was at college, so then it was like literally. I think
I just kind of didn't want to do. I didn't do so well in AS, and then I was just like, I don't want to do so much. I don't want to pick up a whole subject and do 2 years worth of that subject alongside A2s because that's just a bad idea for someone who clearly shouldn't be. So I was just like, no, you know what, media all the way.
Yeah, do something you enjoy. I mean, it's always a good bit of advice that the funny thing is actually I've bumped into people recently who have done the whole they did up to year 11 and then after that they went to college. And then did whatever there, and then have just gone on working from there. And it's interesting because obviously we've taken people have taken a completely different path from that. We've done the university path and going higher education and stuff. But you kind of at this point in your life, and it's sort of funny how at the start of the decade you were all in the same boat. You were all kind of just at school and everything.
Yeah.
And then as it's got this is for us anyway. And then as it's gone on. You've just slowly kind of gone off into your own little part. So this decade for us has really been you've started off all in the same ball pit. and then you've all taken different
Yeah,
paths
just, like,
into that little play area.
The longer you're in education, like,
But you have
just the
in the
more
ball pit.
choices you have to make. You know what I mean?
I don't know why I'm making the analogy with a ball pit and a play area, but you know, you're in the ball pit
because it's a joke.
Yeah, because it's a joke. God damn it. So yeah, you I don't know. Everyone takes different paths, and it's like interesting that like people are like happy doing what they're doing as well. Like, you know, like some people don't like the higher education route, and like I had someone actually I was speaking to recently, and they were telling me why would I want to go to university? I'd be in loads of debt right now. Like at the moment, I'm doing my job. Like I'm happy doing it. I'm earning a decent wage. Like, and people are always going to need like this person was like I think doing plumbing or something, I think it was, and you know they were saying like, you know, people are always, there's always going to be demand for my job.
You get similar.
Always
like
going to be like people are always going to need a tradesman. Like there's always going to be things like that. And it made me think like you know, like, but then you just think back to it. You think like that was a good choice that you made in that decade. And it's just like you think like back to like definitive points. What would your definitive point, do you think, in your decade?
The entire decade.
If you had to think of something, or if there's something that stands out for you of like
Boomtown.
What was there?
No hesitation.
Getting mashed. Like if you had to think of something like, I mean, I'll give you an example. Really, for me, like my one was deciding to go back to college, like go to college, but go to college like for an extra year like of education, and pick up an AS and A2 in the same year. So I could get enough points to go where I wanted to Bournemouth. Because if I didn't do that, like I joined late as well. I only decided to do it like probably the end of September, like start of October. So I missed like the first, nearly month, and I had to catch up like a little bit. But I was so like determined. I wanted to do it, and but that was like a definitive point. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have gone Bournemouth. I wouldn't have got met loads of people. We wouldn't have gone to uni together. It would have been all so different. Crazy. And it's just I always think like that was like the definitive point of my decade. I was deciding like I need to do this or I won't get to enjoy something really cool, or I won't get this opportunity again. So
I think that's probably having listened to that, I would definitely say my choice to leave AS and sixth form, if like this to this, you don't know what AS and A2 are. So to leave sixth form to go to college and just do media full time rather than having it as one of my subjects, I think that definitely started off like a big trigger journey. But then likewise, I think choosing to do media as a subject, because I originally was going to do art, and then I got a B, and no, that's a lie. You needed a B. I got a C.
Okay.
So, which is annoying because it was like one of my favourite subjects. Yeah. But you just need so much coursework. So anyone who does art and does really well,
do you know what though? Like,
I commend them.
Do you know
you have to do so
pardon
much.
The pun,
but quantity.
Pardon the pun, but hats off, right, to anyone. I've just taken my hat off as well. To anyone who is a good artist and can draw, because I can't draw for shit. Like I'm so like in awe of people who are good at art and can draw these amazing
trying
pictures.
To do it in a specific way. Like, everyone can draw. They just need to do it in their own version.
They can, but like for example, like me, like I know that if I'm drawing like say I don't know either a portrait or just like I don't know, someone says to me like the only thing I used to be right at drawing was a shoe in school. I can never draw anything else really that great.
But that's like because you're trying to think about drawing it in like a realistic way.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but then some people just have the knack of just knowing exactly how to shade perfectly. Yeah. They've got a real eye of the needle kind of. It's real eye of the needle stuff.
Just take a lot of time doing it, and people who enjoy doing pretty much anything can hone their skill, even if they are natural at it. But I do get what you mean. Like when I see people who do proper crazy drawings, I'm like,
oh yeah, no, there's actually someone there's actually someone in
sorcery.
There's actually someone in St Albans right
now.
She's called Libby, and I've seen on
Libby.
I've seen on she does a it's like one of one I think it's one of one the brand, and she basically paints all her own jumpers. So she'll get requests in. So I've seen her. She's done like 2-pack. She's done all these different people, and she'll paint jumpers for like a price.
As in paint straight onto the fabric.
Paint straight onto the fabric. Yeah. Like I don't know. I'm not quite sure on the process, but it's amazing. Yeah, this whole design, and then it will be like a kind of. It might be like the palette colors on the back.
Start again.
And you just think, you just think. I just look at it and you think like, how on earth does someone have like that kind of like talent where they're? Yeah. It's just the detail is just so fine. Like. Yeah, hats off to that. It's like
that's pretty sweet.
yeah,
so she just gets them from, was it one by one?
Well, it's like one, like it's our own sort of I guess our own
okay.
like I don't know if you call it fashion label. I don't know what it'd be called, but like it's her own sort of brand, I guess.
Yeah.
And occasionally, like I follow the Instagram, and it's there's occasionally there'll be like a different jumper being put up, and like I think there's been a Kendrick Lamar. There's some really good ones. Yeah, some really stand-up ones.
That's pretty cool, to be fair.
So but anyways, sorry, sidetracked a little bit, but going back to the original point of like we've all had different kind of
you
interrupted,
and I was talking about my life. Right? So I didn't choose art because I flopped, and then. I just wanted to do something creative, so then I chose media, and doing media at Sardium actually, with you, was like, was just like so much better than everything else I'd done, and then it just snowballed.
Do you know what as well? Actually, a similar thing with me. I was doing, instead of media, I was actually originally doing product design, and I chose that because I thought it'd be. I was like I used to want to be like a mechanic, or I used to want to do something like cool with like my hands, like fixing things, or like filling up little bits, okay, that sounded really weird, but like fixing things. I used to be quite. I used to think I was quite good with my hands. I used to love like things like Lego and like that's terrible. God, wow, I'm going to jail. Just
try.
Yeah, I'll try and just try and move on from this, clawing back, like, and I used to want to do that, and then I went and did product design for like a week, and I was just like, this isn't what I signed up for. It was just a bit. It wasn't that great. I just wasn't enjoying like the whole kind of it's like all the kind of theory stuff and all the designy stuff. It wasn't. I thought it was really hands on. It wasn't. So I was like,
much more like. Well, it's not. It's hands-on is quite an odd word to you. I get what you mean, like practical, but the practical elements would be different. It wouldn't be like physically practical. It'd be more like designing on like software and stuff. That would be the practical element. Because that's how I imagine like product design went and stuff.
It was it pretty well from the 2 weeks I did it. It was, but then I basically after like a couple of weeks I was like pretty much. I was just sitting there like, I don't want to do this for an hour. Like this isn't. Like I already knew, like when you just sort of like, okay.
So that was as well as when you went to college and you were like switched over.
No. So I actually no. So at this point, this was like start of A levels. So I didn't know. Like at this point, I was doing that and a few a splattering of other subjects, and
did like 10
and
just a smattering.
Just a smattering. And I did. I don't know. I did like English language, like product design. German and German and what was the other one?
I don't know.
Oh, business economics. And there was only, and out of those four, I only ended up doing finishing one of them, and then doing one of them, which obviously I'll explain. Like I didn't just fail everything, but I think no. So I did. So I failed German. That was like I really enjoyed it at GCSE and stuff, but I just it was a grade up, and then I realised that I probably didn't want to be doing it, but I still did it to the end of the year, and then got a U. But anyway, so then media, like I didn't even have on there, and it was only after doing product design for a couple of weeks I was like, this is rubbish. I don't want to do this. I want to choose something different. And then one of my mates was like, yeah, I'm doing media. Like it's pretty good. Like it's pretty fun. Like, I really enjoy it. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And literally as soon as I joined the class, I was like, yeah, this is sick. Like this is like favorite subject already.
Yeah.
I was like, why didn't I do this like at GCSE? Like I was thinking like, what? Like this is what I want to do. I want to do this kind of media stuff. I just love the whole theory side of it. I loved everything about it. I was like, yeah, I'm doing this.
Yeah, it was just so. Like,
and then
I get
even
what
the
you mean,
practical stuff as well.
About it.
Like,
the practical bits were
really fun as well.
Great,
like when we got to make
just the
stuff.
theory was just so much more interesting than what I imagine any other subject's theory to be. Especially because I did obviously subjects for like the whole way through the rest of secondary. Like it was just so fresh, especially because I hadn't done it already. So it wasn't like the same like thing over and over again. It was like a new experience rather than continuing a subject that you already are bored with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think I am quite sad that I didn't get to finish my English A-levels because I did English lit, so I was actually quite. I liked doing that much more than any of the other subjects.
Yeah.
I just thought overall.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it was not worth hanging on to that.
Yeah, well, I always think it's like better to sort of. I think that's why I was enjoying the idea of uni so much. Was like I wanted to specialize in something. I wanted to do something I really enjoyed, and like for me, like when I was doing sixth form, it was like made me know what I wanted to do. Actually, it was really good. Like choosing that that was probably like another definitive moment, I guess, was like that. It wasn't as big because it was sort of, I kind of just didn't enjoy it, so I was like, I'll do media, and then it actually turned out to be a really good decision. Like probably one of the best decisions I made was dropping that and then picking up media. But when I did, like it was just good because that gave me like this sort of suddenly like this vision of like, oh, I want to do this like in the future. I want to be somewhere in the media, and I want to be, either making my own stuff or presenting my own stuff or producing my own stuff. Something to do with like content creation of some sort, or any kind of production really. And I don't know, suddenly was like, I know what I want to do, and it was good because at that age, like, not a lot of people know what they want to do, I guess, and it's sort of nice to sort of have this like add this idea and everything. So it was like that was like the middle of the decade as well. That was like, I know what I want to probably do now. I
think that's why that was more. Even though since then I've made sort of bigger choices and done things more like grown up. I think that was probably one of the most influential times for a lot of people. And I just don't think I'm any different to that. I think that just was very much a big part of the change that happened, because then a lot of the things that at the end of college and like throughout that course and the degree course, it was just a lot of simply snowball effect, if you know what I mean. Like, it linked in a way, so it wasn't really a big change of course, but at that point it actually was a big change in direction. So I think that's probably one of the biggest bits. But I'd say that's probably, I'm still just thinking about like education, do you know what I mean? I'd say when I went to do my placement with Rizwan Wadan, check him out, he's got some sick content. Basically, he allowed me to be first AD on set for him, and that really changed my perception of what it was like to be on set, and how I didn't want to really direct or like produce at that point. At that point, I really wanted to be a first AD, and I still do. And I think that, because of the influence and like sort of the career choice that I sort of will try and go and make, that was quite a big point. That summer and that next year, which was our final year, I think that was a huge bit. And even though that's really at the end of it, I just think that is it was a big change in my like outset. It
was actually, like, I think I'd learned, it's probably the next thing I'll go on to. Like, I was going to maybe go for the years, but like, so to sort of sum up our years, I think, because we've kind of both had a similar sort of journey of the decade, really, where we've like both like, the first few years of this decade was, the decade just gone was leading up to year 11. And then year 11 was 2013, and then you had first year of sixth form. Then for you, it was 2 years of college. For me, it was another year of sixth form and then college, and then 3 years of uni. But like the year I probably learned the most, like just not even just like educational wise, but like anything, like just learned a lot from myself, and that was probably like between 2018 and like last year 2019, because like I don't know what it is, like when you're at university, like you kind of adapt as a person quite a lot, and you adapt sort of because you have to fend for yourself in a way. You have to, which is obviously, it's, I guess, part of moving away from your family and everything. Like, everything's off your own back. Obviously your parents might support you a little bit financially, but you're kind of, everything
is those things that are quite simple and quite sort of stereotypical of the fact that you have to start doing your own washing, you have to start doing your own cleaning up, you have to start actually like sorting out like your day-to-day life, essentially, which is why a lot of people in first year, second year do nothing but like drink and party and stuff, because like when you're grown up you don't do that, because you've been living for like years without anyone like telling you what to do. But at that point, because you don't have anyone telling you what to do, you do whatever you want, and that's why it's such a good year. Like, that was probably one of the best years of my life.
I'd say like first year,
because that was just awesome as well.
Oh,
and
awesome,
that was when I met your house. Well, and my house as well. But we lived with your house the second year,
of course,
pretty much. And that was like again, probably was better. But like they were both amazing. But I think I preferred second year because the house that we had was quite a nice group, and it felt more of like our home from home, rather than Hall's being like the experience of not being at home.
I got you.
Even though they're both great in their own way.
Well, I mean, obviously for me it was pretty cool, because I was just instantly with my house for then the next year, almost, and then you're with the addition of you, which is obviously a very good addition. Obviously. But it was I think the first year of uni is just I think the last few years definitely has like been the biggest learning curves, because when you're younger, it's sort of you're still going through that educational system, like the one that you have to go through legally. Apart from not sixth form, I guess, but like up to year 11, and then but then you go on to you usually go on to higher education, whether that be college or like doing an apprenticeship or sixth form, as it was for me and for you. Like, and then,
but I do also commend people who choose to not bother with uni in a way that they're just not pressured. A lot of people do just think that they should go because they don't know what to do.
Yeah, because like that's all, and or because like society are telling them you need to go.
Or just it looks and like it would be great, and like I loved it, but
even to be honest,
not for everyone, and sometimes it's not worth doing.
To be honest as well, the school I went to, they were really they pressure a lot of people on going to uni and saying, this is like what you need to do, this is like the best thing to do. But it really isn't the case, like for me, if I wasn't doing the course that I did at university, TV production, which was a quality course.
It was indeed.
If I wasn't doing that, I think I'd be at uni and think, like, what's the point of me being here? Like, I could be doing so many other things, like, right now that would probably benefit me more. Like, doing a course at college that will get me onto, doing apprenticeships and things like that, or just anything. I don't know, like, any kind of apprenticeship.
It would be so different.
It would, yeah. It would be a lot more different. And I think, like, you can't compare the university experience with a lot of other stuff because it's quality. It's a really good experience, but also at the same time, like the course is such a big part of it. So if you're not enjoying your course, or you're there and your course isn't going to benefit you in any ways, I was just thinking, like it's not really for you. Like it does, you do rack up a lot of, not that you pay it back instantly, but you do rack up a lot of debt from it and everything as well. It has to be worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely was for us. Like we were definitely one of the lucky ones. It was. We've had a great few years and learned a lot from it. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you have like one half of the decade, which is like just you kind of, I don't know, you're finishing your teenage years and everything.
Well, the first half, I think we were kind of being pushed in directions.
Yeah,
but then we were pushing the second half, we were sort of making our own choices, and slowly as we like grew up into actual adults, because like only until even when I got to uni, I was, technically I'd been an adult for a little while, but I didn't really feel like an adult. But then when I left uni and during the second year, like I'd be, quite offended if someone didn't think there was one. You know what I mean? And now I definitely feel like a grown up. I don't feel like I'm 40, but I just do feel like I'm very much more mature than I was.
Back then.
Not even too long ago. Do you know what I mean?
It's
which
true.
It kind of feels a bit odd.
It's the same with me as well. Absolutely the same with me.
When you're young, like we've just had such, as we were saying before, just finishing our degree at the end of this decade. That means that this decade just gone we've just had so much crap that we've gone through. But now, I have no idea what jobs I'm going to get. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life, basically. I don't know who I'm going to be living with after I move out. I don't know when I'm going to move out. I don't know where I'm going to move out to. All of these things that probably will get answered in the next 10 years.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really want to know the answers just yet.
No. Yeah, you've got more time than you always think. And I think that goes for like a lot of people. Like some people like think that they have to do something. It has to be now. Like time is of the essence, and it's like you've got to live every day like it's your last. And it's like, although like I like that expression, it's like like I think that's a good expression to live by.
It's a good mindset to have.
It's a very good mindset to have. But
it's good to realise that sometimes you do have time, and it's not crucial. It's just a good outset to know, to be aware of how important
it's just nice
the now is.
It's nice to take a step back, take a chill pill, just relax, and then kind of just see where the waves are heading, because you're making those waves. You're the one that makes the waves. You're making your waves, and where you choose to ride them, it's your decision. Oh God!
Should we do some more? It's your board, man. That's all you. That's all you.
But yeah, no, it is. My point is, it's you have time to make your own decisions, and I think that's important for this decade, for probably whoever you are, whatever stage you're at in your life. Then don't be influenced, because you can be so easily influenced nowadays. Just by just by the rush of things, or just by seeing something. What other people are doing.
When
too
you
much
see
comparison.
Other people who are like your age, and you start comparing yourself to where they're at. Yeah.
So like you're thinking,
and someone did tell me that when she came into my pub to film something, and she was doing it for BBC.
Yeah.
I think it was for Newsnight.
Nice.
Or Question Time or can't remember.
Yeah.
And I just said to her, please just give me some advice.
Yeah.
I was like, you're clearly successfully doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And one of the things she said was, just don't worry about not doing it right now, because and she knows so many people, and most of the people she knows didn't get into anything properly until their late 20s or their early 30s. And it was such a nice thing just to hear from someone.
That's what I mean.
And I know it's not the same in every industry, and some industries, if you know what you're going to go into and you can start as soon as, then do, because if you know you're going to be climbing a ladder, then it's always better to
of course, hit the
get
ground
on
running
as soon as possible.
Get as much experience as you can. But
at the same time, for any industry, you can always just relax for a bit and just be content of where you're at, but then always be aware of what you want to do. So don't put it out of your mind. Just don't be worried that you're not currently winning the game that you want to be playing, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's very, very true words, and a lot of people, I think, will want to rush into it. And to be honest, we'll make a podcast. There will be a podcast probably on the life after university and the kind of next steps.
Thinking about doing that
because
for a while.
we have been thinking about doing
things
that for a
are
while.
very different.
Things
it's really weird.
Yeah.
And I do miss it, but I was very. I don't know about you, but I was very ready to leave. And I was ready to just start normal life outside. I just didn't want to be in education anymore.
No,
but then it's already got to the point where I miss being at uni.
I do have a routine now, but I miss having a planned out routine for me. I think that's almost part of the next step again of this whole decade. In last decade, I'm thinking like I had this kind of even though at uni like you are pushing yourself because you haven't got all the sort of support mechanisms that you still have support mechanisms, but not all the really pushy ones that you usually have because you're in a completely different environment. Even though you're pushing yourself, you're still being guided a long way, and you're like your routine is almost guided out for you. It's like written out for you. You've got to go to this. You've got to get this done by this time. You've got to still do that. You've got like
and
deadlines
to meet.
And
is to do with the stuff that you've been given to do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like while you're doing that, you're getting experience. You're learning a lot, and it's all pretty good. You're actually you're achieving a lot while you're doing what you're doing. Whereas when you finish, you sort of like you're out of that kind of achieving grades and things, and you're kind of more just you might be earning a small salary, or not really a small salary, but you might be earning a salary, and you think like, oh, how can I push myself more? And you're already before you had that person or you had that industry, which was I guess university for us to push us, and then now you've got to really push you more than you've ever pushed yourself to go to the next goal. But as I said, it's all about time, and you don't have to push yourself too much. I might have actually contradicted myself what I said before, but you don't have to you don't have to push yourself right now and then. Everything will come to you at once. You've just got to be patient as well with a lot of stuff. So my word of advice to anyone for the new decade is be patient. Take your time, and take time for yourself and for others around you, and good things will come to people.
Do you think there's anyone this decade that's just gone that you sort of wish you'd spent more time with, or for the most part are you sort of like, I did alright.
I did okay.
I don't think there are. I don't think, to be honest, I wish I could spend more time with everyone. That's the thing. So I don't think I've badly spread my time.
No, There's definitely there's definitely people that I wish I could. Even now, that I wish I could, like friends and stuff that I could see more and like spend more time with and everything, and just
especially the ones that are like far away.
And the ones that are far away and everything, make more memories with, and just because certain people you think like, I had such a good time with them. Oh, that time. That day that we did that. We got so messed up.
That day that we did that.
That day that we did that thing that was so illegal.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was so good.
So much of that.
But
I get what you mean. I think, I mean, even with us two, since we've finished uni, we've spent 2.5 years. Say the first year's only half year. We're in the same building, but just not in the same actual flat.
Yeah,
we're pretty much living with each other for at least 2 years.
Yeah,
and then got
fully
back,
for 2
and now
years,
you have like sort of a weekday job, and I have like a weekend job.
Yeah.
So we just don't, it's like, and the same with like so many people in our group where for a long time I didn't even realise who was in. Who was back home? I didn't realise who was still at uni, who was back home, and then I'd be like, oh, what? You're around for forever now? And then I'm done.
I think I actually think that I've done quite well with seeing who I want to see, and obviously like through the years there'll be people that you still like, if you saw them out in the street, you saw them at the pub or something, you'd still be able to have a proper good catch up with, and it'd be like nothing's changed. People along the way that you lose touch with, or people that just sort of not even like fall out, because I never fall out with anyone, but just people that you
never fall out with
never
anyone.
fall out with anyone.
No one argues with me.
Yeah,
no one dislikes me.
I'm a king, and with my beanie thrown, and there's no one, that I'd ever fall out with or anything. But there's people you grow apart from just gradually, as you just because you go on different paths. So in that way, it's always always at the time you sometimes think like, oh yeah, like I used to be such good mates with that person, but you always think. If I see they're doing good, I'm like, good for them. Like, it makes me like happy to see like someone I used to be really good mates with doing well for themselves and that. And I'll always support you. I
don't think there's
always be a support. It's like a football team. Having a mate, sometimes like having like a football team you support. It's like you're never gonna not support them. You're always gonna want them to win. Like, you're just a dick. I think.
Oh, what, as in if you used to support them and you don't support them anymore?
Oh, no. I mean, like...
Because obviously if you support a team, you're going to want them to win.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. It's like a friend or like an old friend, it's like supporting your football team or like supporting a friend is like supporting a football team in the way that, you always want them to do well, you always want them to win.
Loyalty.
Yeah, it's loyalty, yeah. You're loyal to them and you want them to succeed in any way. Sometimes you might win and you might only just win. You might just I don't know, but I don't know how to
just don't be a friendship glory hunter.
But yeah,
for using
definitely
this analogy.
Yeah, basically, don't be a friendship glory hunter. But always, like if you're looking, I don't necessarily always go up to see the team I support play. I only see them maybe once a year. That's what I mean. This is a good. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a good analogy because like you might only see like a friend once a year. But
I don't wear the scarf anymore, but I did throw it away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Friends are like a football team. Support them. Nah, I don't know. I don't know where this has gone, but this has gone from like. Nah, actually, this is spur of the moment.
That was iconic.
Spur of the moment.
I'm going to put that as the entire. The entire screen is just to be that quote the entire time, and eventually they'll get it.
I feel like this is slayed off onto like inspirational quotes to like, but we're on that kind of New Year's resolution part.
New year, new decade.
Which actually, last thing actually before we go on to the inaugural wearing hats ratings.
Oof.
What
Talk
about
competition?
Talk
about competition.
What would be your New Year's resolutions then for this year or for this decade even?
Have you made some already?
I think a lot of people are like, have you made your New Year's resolutions? It's like, I guess you.
Is there something you always do as well? Because some people are like, I don't bother with that.
Oh no,
you gotta at least.
I haven't always. I like to set myself little targets, I guess, to like. So one of them is I want to pass my driving test. I think that will help in getting jobs in TV. Yeah, it's like a big thing. Got a new car, which I need to show you after this. I've just realised that. So anyway, so pass.
Probably
I don't know. I don't know. That's not really important for podcasts. I might check it out. But I
actually do really want to learn to drive this year, just because I just really, and I think long distance relationships helps having a car.
Yes, it does.
Don't need to explain that point.
It's just true.
Logic.
Yeah, and trains are dicks. So trains are dicks.
I hate getting on coaches.
Yeah, and coaches are just
my back
coaches
always
are
hurts
chill.
At the end. I don't know if it's the way I like sit or sleep. Well, it probably is. But I just can't go on a long journey.
Definitely the way.
But my back always kills afterwards. Like I don't know.
I think it's alright. So driving for both of us, I think that is definitely one.
Is that a proper resolution?
That's like that's a resolution. Well, it's like more of a I don't know if it's a resolution, but it's like because it's not like a. People that have resolutions like, I want to go to the gym and keep, I need to, lose weight or whatever. It's like, my New Year's resolution is like, you need to drive, but I would like to drive. Yeah, it's like a target. It's more of like not a resolution. I don't know if the resolution target's the same word, but a target is like, I want to pass my driving test in the next few months. And then another one is so I'd wrist surgery so this is just a basic one. I had wrist surgery at the end of August. So I haven't been able to go to the gym apart from smashing leg days, and doing them dirty squats, and apart from that, I haven't been able to do gym. So after once I get the all clear, which should be at the end of this month, we'll start next month. Go back to the gym.
Is there like a test you have to do to make sure it's all right?
Just physio really, and it's when the physio kind of says, you're allowed to go back. Do some light training or do
any scans or anything. It's more like
I don't know actually. That's a good point, but might have a scan at some point. But for the time being, it's just physio, and that's going well. So get back into that, and a bit more healthy. Just being a bit more healthy. To eat a lot less meat as well. So I'm doing veganuary.
Is that a thing? I didn't realize. I thought. I heard that you are you doing it now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
So I heard that you guys were doing vegan January. I didn't realize. Is that like a thing? Is that like
it's a thing? Yeah. So it's a thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people know. It's like it's a vegan January. It's like a lot.
Veganuary.
Veganuary. Veganuary. Yeah, Veganuary. So it's
fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, so I'm doing that. So but then after I've done that, I want to try and maybe cut down just to for a pescatarian for a bit, or like a pescatarian, and then pescatarian with like maybe like my dad's a flexitarian. If you don't know what that means, it's then read a book. Nah, if you know what that means, then it's like it's like you eat vegetarian food, or like kind of you have like a diet like a vegan food or vegetarian food like for most of the time, but then you eat meat when it suits you essentially. So like,
but not
that you wouldn't
you don't say it unless it's very rare that you eat meat.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
It's not like I'm a flexitarian
because
I sometimes have vegan food. That's just being normal and eating whatever you want. Yeah, flexitarian is more like most of the time you're veggie or pesky.
Well, so like my dad, for example,
you're not like so strict that you're gonna be like I can't.
Yeah, like my dad, for example, is a flexitarian. If he goes up to like my grand's or something for the weekend, then he'll eat meat there and then things like that. Like, but he won't. If we're at home, like my mum's cooking, like my mum's a pescatarian, so they have like fish like maybe once a month or like once every few weeks, probably once a month. But they won't eat they won't eat any meat really apart from that. It's just and then my mum cooks like pretty much vegan food all the time. Nice. So like, I'm doing that as well, and then another resolution is to try and get a job in TV, basically. Try and start something, or even a job in like radio. I want to go to some local radios and see if I can get something.
We're on the radio right now. I don't know.
We are technically on our own radio, so but this will definitely be a little thing I'll show them. Maybe get some.
You've succeeded.
Well
done.
I've done it already. One in the bank. So
go and get like a slot on radio times.
So
so you get like your time with a mate.
Exactly, yeah. But my resolution of the decade
Ooh,
right? So this is like
a decade.
So this is like I've thought about this, right?
Buy a house or something.
Nah. I mean, like it would be cool. That would be like a. If I had to think of loads, then obviously, buy a house would be one, I guess. I'm not at the point where I'm thinking about that, like, but I'm at the point where I'm like, in 10 years' time, like, what do I want to achieve?
Do you want to be? Wait, let me try and guess this. All right. Is it to do with career?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so is it to have your own? Is it to be on TV as a presenter?
Yeah. It'd be
nice.
Nice. It would be
one.
It would be to be like an established or like a known presenter of some kind. Even on radio, it could be anything.
Yeah, just basically have your name known by at least one person you don't know.
Have my name known by
like widely famous.
Yeah, just have my name known by like a community of people that didn't know me before. Have known me because of something
as a presenter,
not as like Connor, like
but they've seen you presenting and you've got people who like you presenting.
Yeah, and they've gone, Connor, that guy.
That's a pretty solid one to have. For a 10-year.
And I think it's like a good 10-year one to have, which is very I think it's not ambitious, but
almost probable, but definitely possible.
Almost possible, maybe possible. But if you had one for 10 years' time, it can be as ambitious if you want it. What would you do?
I'm gonna have to put that in the back of the mind for a sec. But I have pretty much very similar yearly ambitions. One of them is the boring one. I'm just gonna get out of the way. I have a gym membership and I just want to use it. I got it last year and I'm just so bad with it. And like I don't want to be like, I want to get really fit or like, I want to get wham. I just generally just want to use the gym more or quit. Just one of the two. Just make it worth it or give up. Be decisive. I don't know. So
make some gains.
That will also come make some gains or get rid of the gains. But yeah, and then another one is to just generally be more organised. It kind of comes hand in hand with like put myself in the gym. Generally, just using my time more efficiently. And within that, I just kind of want to spend less time on the PS4, which is not something that I want to do. I want to stress this for you because I love gaming almost as much as anything else.
Yeah, he's not lying. He does love
It's just beautiful, and I think I've said this before. I think it's the best form of escapism that you can get. Going to the cinema, glorious. All right, watching a TV series all night, fantastic. But playing a game is so good for like escapism and just even though you do get like I am addicted to gaming. It's like no doubt about it. But I'm not sad about that. Like, I mean, I kind of am because I just said that I didn't want to go. But like I just love it so much because it is so entertaining. That is it. But I do spend too much time on it because the time that I spend on that just makes me spend less time on things that are like productive. So
it's like I feel like with gaming, gaming's sick. Growing up being a gamer, like I think a lot of us lads have.
A lot of our
generation really have. But there's so many times where I've thought in the past I could have spent imagine if I spent every evening that I've been gaming doing something that I don't know, I could have been making an idea for something that would go for millions or anything like that. Obviously, you just think nah, because you do have to have the right idea and stuff like that. It's not like just that would have happened if I didn't game. But I just think about imagine if there was all that time you used doing one thing, you actually put it into something else. Is from that point of view, you just think, was it a waste of time? But then you enjoy it. If you enjoy it,
it's a waste of time
because you do enjoy it.
Simply just a lot of enjoyment.
Because if you enjoy something, it's not a waste of time.
I could happily spend an entire day on the sofa playing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't because I'm not the kind of person who can literally spend 24 hours doing that. But it's just so immersive.
Yeah.
In such a good way. So I've kind of come to the point where I really actually am realising how much I need to cut down on that. So that's sort of in part of the whole organising my time better and just being more of a useful human in my own life. Not even to, just for myself, be more useful for me. So I don't even know how many that was, but that was just that was just a general change of mindset.
General managing time.
And but then I also want to learn to drive, and I haven't said. I think I probably should set that as a resolution for this year because I've just wanted to drive for ages, and now it's sort of a possibility to spend a lot of time doing that because I'm home, and I just think it's the right time to do that now before I leave home, and then I've got more things to worry about. I'm not too fussed about getting a job in TV. That is an aim that I want to do this year. Yeah. But I said to myself last summer, I was happy just spending a year doing other stuff and not worrying about my career as such. Just sort of just chilling out and giving myself, because now it's the first time since pretty much I was born that I've been able to do what I want. Not literally anything I want, obviously, but I don't have to go to school.
You don't have to think about what homework do I have to do.
Yeah, I don't have to go and sort this out or sort that out, or I don't.
There's
owe
no
people
responsibilities.
This or owe people that.
There's not as much responsibilities.
Yeah,
it's just
now I've been earning more than I have in my previous jobs and stuff, and I just like doing me for a little while, and then I know that that's just. I do miss being on set, so I think I'll naturally get drawn back into TV this year. But I don't think I'm going to put it as a resolution because I'm quite flexible in my own mind with whether I want to or not. Yeah. But I just know that I miss it. But I think one thing that was pretty much the one that I had from the beginning was simply to actually write either a book or a script or something. I've always thought of ideas and stuff. They're always random, and it's not like they're all gold. But I do love creating ideas and creating worlds and universes. Anyone who properly knows me knows I have a million notebooks with so many ideas in, and most of them are garbage, but I just enjoy it, and I think I've missed out doing that since I started working full time. I don't spend any time on it, and it was something that I enjoyed more than pretty much anything else when I get stuck into it. And Harvey Corson, actually, he in the documentary from one of the Grab projects, he said. About when you get an idea and it keeps rolling and then it just goes and it goes and it goes, and that resonated with me so much when I get, but not in terms of filming or anything like that, but just with the ideas I get and the stories I can come up with, just because I personally enjoy them. They're not really for anyone else, they're just for me. So I think I want this year, my main resolution is simply to have one complete, just to have one that's not forever, not untouched in the future, but just to literally just have one that is start to finish and is rounded, and I put the work in that I've always wanted to put in because I just want it. That is just really what I want to do. So I guess that's probably the only one that I could actually call a resolution. And I guess if that was going to be long term in the decade, you know what? In the decade, this decade, I want to get something on film or published that is my creation, not something that I have helped with or directed. I would love, and I feel that this is very unrealistic, but shoot for the stars. So it's just to have something. Preach for the Mrs. Nesbitt. But just to have something that I've created and not necessarily written all, but it's come from my head.
Be proud
originally. and then I've pushed it and it's actually become a thing. No matter how that is, whether it's an actual book or writing, or it's a script that I've then like let other people actually make, or it's a show that I came up with the idea and concept with, and then other people write it. Just any of those kind of things would be so awesome, and I think that's more of a life goal. But if I got that on a really small scale in the 20s, then it would be awesome to then go forward with much more confidence in my own
into the funky 30s.
And I think you have to make loads of mistakes before you get anything really good. So I think the earlier I start with completing stories, and the earlier I start being able to actually go and ask people for feedback, the more I'm going to learn from it, and then I'll actually be able to make stuff that is actually good. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's my both.
Similar resolutions, similar decade resolutions. What is your resolutions? If you've got some good ones, then let us know, because it is quite interesting to see what different people's different paths are and stuff, and what their kind of idea of success, or even just like achievement, sense of achievement is for like the year of like feeling of goals and feeling good about yourself. Because they can be as small as or big as you want. There's no set target or like what you should be realistically going for, or whatever. But I know what you should be realistically wearing on your head, and that is a hat, because hats are cool. And we make podcasts wearing hats. This is actually part of the show where we rate our hats. This is rated on a few different things, going from whether it's like formal or stylish, or you name it. It's just we rate it on a few different.
So what we got? We got comfort out of 10. Then we got style out of 10, and then we've got either formal or informal, depending on your hat.
On the
out
hat
of 5.
you choose
and
to
then
wear.
the special round.
The special
fashion party. No, well, I was about to say fashion parties.
No.
I was to say fancy dress party.
Yeah, fancy dress.
Fashion party.
Fancy dress.
Fancy dress.
How fancy dressable is it? Yeah. So we got
how fancy is your hat?
Yeah. So we got couple 10s, couple 5s. Yeah. So all right, I'll tell you what. We'll start off then with we'll go back.
Me.
So okay, I pick you. So right. So Ronan, I'm going to start with you. And we're going to go for comfort first, obviously, because that is the first one.
Number one.
That's
because
number
of
one.
any hat, because you need to be comfortable wearing it. You know what I mean?
Like it's pretty. It's
uncomfortable.
Not very fun. It's pretty
Don't play
shit.
yourself.
Pretty shit thing if you're wearing a hat that isn't even comfortable. You're just wearing it for the sake of wearing a hat.
Yeah,
like which is kind of what we in a way do, but we do actually like wearing the hats we do.
Well, if I ever say to you, Connor, that I'm rating the hat that I've just worn for like the last hour as like a 1 out of 10 on comfort, I'm expecting some like sad emotes. All right, so
expecting daggers in your hat. 50 or 1 out of 10.
It was just a crown of thorns.
I mean, go on then. So what out of 10 is it?
Out of 10 for comfort. It's
intrigued.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Because I thought tricorns were just
is it
ridiculous.
Is it light?
But it's lighting up. I reckon if I had a leather tricorn, it might be a bit more like saggy.
Oh yeah.
And I've got big old Dumbo ears, so I feel like they also kind of rest on that.
Oh nice, yeah.
So it's like beautiful. A bit of extra support for when my head gives out.
Nice. Oh, you don't have big ears, babe.
That's a lie, babe. Thanks, gorgeous.
They're beautiful, babe. Yeah. But,
so I think this is kind of getting high. I'm going to go... Well, actually, I'm saying that's because it's just a surprise. When realistically, compared to really comfortable hats...
It's probably not that
It's probably not that cool, yeah. I'd say out of 10, probably about a 6. Okay, yeah. Because it's not too bad. It's not too bad. You could wear it for a long time.
I would actually can I have a little actually? I'm going to actually have
it.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't usually do this on the show.
I'm definitely going to be wearing yours.
Actually, do you know what? That is surprisingly comfortable. Yeah. It's light. You've got. Do you know what? It's breathable. Because it's nice.
Your hat's very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice and warm. So there's actually on your hat if we've switched hats here, if you haven't realised, there's it's still like enough air to get into like the bowler hat part on the top.
So it's not like
it's not actually that hot. It's not actually that hot. Like I quite like that, I actually quite like that. Yeah, it's very nice.
So but yours is very comfortable.
So comfort for mine, hang on.
There you go.
So pass it back here. Like I'm glad you've got to feel that comfort.
Glad you got to feel experience.
Because you'll probably understand if I give this a rating of. Let me think. The only thing, right, my only concern of this hat, because I actually have worn it like quite a bit recently, is that it can, like, I like beanies, like, and I like where I think like in a way they suit a lot of people, I think as well. I think it's a good hat to have, like for cold weather, because they don't really not suit anyone. But at the same time, like I don't wear them much simply because they get so hot and it irritates my hair so much. Like it's proper itchy.
If you have a
ruins
beard
your
that's too
hair.
tight, it makes it so itchy.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like,
and then once it gets to that point, it's so quick to get to the again. So so once you get to the point where you need to take it off and like itch your head or something, it's like every 5 minutes. It's like you're going back.
It can get exactly. Whereas actually this one, when I was away, it wasn't too bad for that. It's not as bad as some other beanies I've had, and I'm not sure if that's because of like the fluffy kind of. It's just so soft that actually it kind of.
Expert craftsmanship.
Yeah, expert craftsmanship from those Budapestians. I don't know if that's a word. From those Hungarians, it's probably a better way of putting it. So I'm going to give this a 9. I'm definitely giving this a 9 because it's just so warm and like that. It's proper like saved me on that holiday. It was really nice. So yeah, a nice solid 9. I think you'll agree with it. It's just nice and fluffy. A good, comfortable woolly hat, like more comfortable than a normal beanie because it's got the fluffy like woolen bit.
And
and it just looks nice. I don't know. Well, we'll get to that, but it's just a nice hat. But anyway,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So the next one is style.
Exactly, style.
So so what did you get it again?
So I give it a 9. Yeah, I give it a 9 for mine. So we're gonna go for style.
All right, so we're back to me. Yeah.
You got style.
Oh,
boy.
this is 100% an extremely stylish hat. Back in day, you see someone with this, you'd be impressed.
Yeah, you would be.
Yeah, but then again, this isn't a real one, so you could probably tell it's not real. But at the same time,
and if you didn't say it was good, you'd walk the plank.
Yeah, you'd walk the plank. You'd get what you'd get.
So you basically would have to say it was good either way.
Deep waters.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, I mean, it is fashionable in a hilarious way, but realistically, it's just not. You know what I mean? It's just no one wants to walk around town.
If you actually came
and not in a full pirate costume.
If you came to town actually with that hat on, or you came up, if you came up tin with that hat on, then I would say you look like the town crier.
Every single person,
because like it's one of those town crier hats in a way. You know, like hear ye, hear ye, and you know, like I look
wearing
like a
twat.
twat.
And saying things.
Subscribe to wearing hats and saying things. Hear thee, hear ye.
I get what you mean though. It's terrible.
It's pretty terrible. Yeah, but anyway, go on.
It's like you were saying. If I went into the pub, everyone who looked at me would simply question my sanity. And then if I sat down with whoever, unless it was in like a wearing hats and saying things convention, in which case you could wear whatever hat you want.
Hell you
and
want.
Definitely, if that was a thing, this would be a winner. Trust me, this would be a contender.
It's up there,
but it's not a thing. So I'd say it's very low. I wouldn't say, but the thing is, it's still like a good hat.
It looks
quite
nice.
embarrassing.
It's not like stylish, but it looks.
Yeah,
it looks nicer for what it is.
I'm going dead center.
Number 5.
Going 5.
Mambo number 5. Nice. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll tell you.
You could get
considering
lots worse.
Considering it actually looks kind of nice.
Maybe I should lower that. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know, like a 4.
Probably a 4.
5's nice.
I was going to go 4.5, but 4. Just bring it down.
I think it's been brought up by the fact that like it actually is a nice looking hat for what it is. Like it's a stylish hat of a tricorn dress. Sorry, I had a brain freeze then. Brain freeze. It was like for a tricorn, it actually is a nice tricorn, but it's probably not. Tricorns aren't that stylish. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. But mine for style beanie. Thing is, although like some people can pull off this stylish look with beanies really well, like it's actually like a common. Especially like in the last decade. In the last decade, it's actually it's been quite a popular thing to wear on your head. Like a lot of people wear it. Like even in like the spring months and like the autumn, skater thing and stuff. Like you get a lot of people. Like when I was away, so many people with Carhartt hats. Like it's ridiculous, but it's like it is a popular trendy thing. Obviously, I was in a cold country, so there it kind of just looked like the norm. I wouldn't myself wear it back here just because it's not really my thing that much. I would more wear it because it's cold more than like I think it looks good on me.
It's one of those beanies, like, you get beanies that are loose. And
you
have like this
this one, it's not. It's just more like I want my head to actually be warm. But it's not too bad. I still get a bit of hair sticking out the front. For style, I'm gonna go 7.5. It's not like it's not the most stylish. Like some people probably could pull off a bit more stylish than me. But for me personally,
it goes with stuff.
That's what I mean. You could easily wear it with anything, which is why I'm giving it like a nice fair score. Because I think there's definitely like more stylish hats. All round is a pretty solid 7.5. Does the job and looks presentable. So we're gonna give it, and looks kind of normal, unlike yours. So we're gonna
Although
we're gonna give
impressive.
it. Yeah, although it's kind of impressive. Yeah, we're gonna
I think
give
it's
it.
impressive because you'd be like, "That's a bold move."
Yeah, that is a bold move.
Bold move, Carden.
It's a bold move.
Which is formal.
Formal, yeah, formal or.
Thing is, alright, so this is a bit of a stiffler in my situation, right? Because in the time of which you would wear this, which I'm not going to count this as, but in that time, it would be a straight up 5 out of 5. It's like you'd wear this to the party, and they'd be like, "Who's that fine gentleman?" Like you'd fully be like,
if anything, it's a sign of like power. You know?
Either that, or you'd be wearing it to a pirate
he's a captain,
party,
he's a
and
captain.
it wouldn't be formal at all. But then you'd be like the boss of everyone, so it'd be like the winning informal. I don't know. Yeah. But sadly for me, this is not that time. It's not that time. Not that decade.
So what would it be? Formal or casual?
I'd say it has to be casual.
Yeah, I think it is as well.
Because no one's going to wear this formally.
Either way, I think it's kind
casual is like you'd only wear it because it's silly. So I think
silly
it would be
casual.
good to be very informal.
Silly casual.
You know what I mean? If you're wearing this hat, you are furthest thing from formal.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
So for that reason, I'm not going to give it like a really low score. But I think if I was going, I think 3 is a bit just of a like that's just a cheat.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 fair enough.
Because like it's useful for an informal situation.
Yeah.
But only if that informal situation is when you have to wear this hat specifically. Yeah. You know what? Actually, I'm bringing it down to 2. It's a useless hat.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you know we were all thinking it? Yeah. We just weren't saying.
I just want this hat to do well, and it just wasn't destined to.
It just wasn't. Yeah, but we still got one more round. I feel like that could be the winner.
You know what's coming
next. That could be the winner. Yeah, I do know what's coming on next. So. But before that, I'll do mine. So I think it is a casual hat, but you can wear it. You can wear it. For like not necessarily a formal occasion, but like you could this hat because it's just all black and it's like the pattern's like, as I said before, it's presentable. It's just like easy and nice. You could like rock up to somewhere before taking it off inside, like I guess, and it could be like a formal hat like you wear with like you could wear it with a suit. I guess you probably wouldn't, but like you could. But I think it is more casual. Like I'm gonna go for casual just because like formal although it can be worn formal, it wouldn't look stupid.
I think it would like ruin a formal attire.
Yeah, I think although it wouldn't look completely dumb, like if it was cold outside, for example, I'd be like, okay, fair enough, you're being sensible, you're wearing a hat.
But I don't think it's good fellows of a formal costume, you know what I mean?
But yeah, it's not. It probably didn't go. So there, for that reason, it's casual, and casual. It's pretty cash. Like it looks pretty. It's pretty
rather
cash. Yeah, like you get. It's not really trying to be anything. You know what I mean? It's just like It's just trying to be. It's just trying to be a normal dark coloured hat, which just does what it kind of is intended to do, which is keep your head warm and kind of not. You don't look like a tosser wearing it. You just look. You just look. There's nothing like it doesn't stand out or anything like that, but it doesn't. You don't draw attention to anyone. It's just to yourself. Sorry, not to anyone else. It'd be weird if you did. So like yourself, it's just an easy hat. So I think for it's pretty cash. Like I want to give it a 4, but I don't know if that's too high. Like maybe a 3.5. I think 3.5 again. Like this is like when I went for 7.5 for the last one, I think 3.5. I think it's like a fair cash hat. Cash hat. Yeah, I don't know if you're agreeing or not, but
I mean, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, like it's
I'm going with
3.5. Yeah, like I mean, like it's between a 3 and a 4. So like, but like
I would go lower than 3 for sure.
Yeah, definitely lower than 3.
It's good at being casual.
Yeah, I think.
Tell you right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick 3.5. I think 4's too high, but I think 3 would almost be like a bit too low. I think it's cash. It's cash. It's decent. Does a job. But with the last one, and I think like. I haven't really got a leg to stand on with this one, really. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm winning this round.
But you're definitely for sure.
This is like
this
5 out of 5, definitely.
Yeah,
if you need this for a costume, like fancy dress, brig, tricorn, you are a pirate, even if you have none of the rest of it. You could just wear this hat, and it would be enough. Pretend that you've done it. Everyone would be like, "That's a terrible costume." But nice hat.
Yeah, but like if you said
that is exactly what a hat should do.
What have I come as? Everyone will know. Will be able to guess straight away. So that reason, easy 5 out of 5.
I reckon 5 out of 5.
It does.
And if you could go further than that, I would, but it's only out of 5. Like, it's
unfortunately,
just the perfect fancy dress hat because that's what it's for. You know what I mean? This is a fancy dress hat, which is why it did so miserably on the others. But it was just,
winner on one.
it is just useless in every other situation. But it's so useful in that situation.
Yeah.
The only downside is, it's one of those hats that you'd have to have the rest of it. But what fancy dress do you not combine headwear and bodywear? That's just true. It's outrageous. So I'm thinking going 5 out of 5.
Bang on. Yeah, bang on. Mine, on the other hand, isn't really suitable for fancy dress. I can't think of a situation fancy dress wise that you would actually wear this hat, because it's just a winter hat. It's like, as I say, it's pretty cash, but it's nothing.
You could wear it in things like specific things, like if you had a character that specifically wore a black beanie, which I can't think of off the top of my head. Or if you were like,
well, yeah, obviously, I'm sure there is something out there, but it's just, even then, it's like, it's just that's really pushing it. Like, I'm not airboning, it really is. Like, it's really pushing it. So unfortunately, I think on this one, it's a 1. Like, it's a solid 1, because I can't even
you could probably use it
because technically, yes, it could be used, but like, I think 1's being nice in a way. Like
I'd say,
but
I wouldn't go low. I wouldn't go low. Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad actually. Like, this is not like it could never ever be used in fancy dress, but like, there's not many hats that there's a lot of hats which you could use in fancy dress, like even if it was like formal or informal, like caps or whatever. But like this one is just like definitely one of the on that kind of bottom tier. Yeah. So yeah, number 1. It's getting a 1. 1 back and sides, please.
Yeah. Back and sides and on the top as well.
And on the top as well. So that's our ratings.
I think we should consider doing bonus points. Not for this. I don't think mine currently deserves bonus points. No, but I think yours should get a bonus point for being from Hungary.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah, and I was thinking, I've had beanies. I say beanies. I've had a single beanie before that did actually have speakers in it. And that would have to be, that doesn't fit into the categories, but that for sure should be a bonus.
There's a bonus feature, so therefore bonus point.
You plug in headphones, not headphones, like a aux cord. So that should be a bonus point. Yeah. So I feel like
bonus feature, bonus point.
Yeah. This I feel like almost could get one for being the hat that we wore at the first summer ball. I wore at the first summer ball.
Shit, is that
That's why I got this hat.
Oh my god, of course it is. Yeah.
BU summer ball.
Wow, gosh,
20, what was that? 17?
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But I don't think that warrants an extra point. I'm far off the winning anyway. But I think we should consider that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We'll throw us out next time.
It's definitely
right now, so the next time I'm not like, hey, guess what? But yeah, I think I'm on 17 now.
I think I've lost count. I'm on 9, 7.5, and then what was it? A
3.5.
3.5. So that would be like 11
that's
plus.
20, isn't it?
That's 20 plus the 1.
21. 21.
21. You stupid. No, I'm not. What's 9 plus 10? 21.
Alright then.
Okay.
So, 21 versus a measly 17.
Which that's actually pretty good for considering.
I thought it'd be much further up. It was the fancy dress round, you know what I mean?
Dress brought you up.
Oof, that's why you wear hats on summer ball. But yeah, no, so congrats.
So yeah,
hats off to the winner today.
Hats off. Yeah.
Concal.
Hats off.
Well done.
Hats off to Ronan Gaffney as well. Be sure to listen to more of us, because you love listening to two people wearing hats and just rambling on. I know you do. That's why you're listening right now.
Ramble. Hats and ramble.
Hats and gamble.
Bramble.
Campbell. No, right, yeah. It's been a joy, and have a good decade, everyone. Have a good hope your decade flourishes, and
enjoy your January of the first decade. Enjoy your first week of the first decade. Enjoy your first weekend of the first year of the first decade since the last decade. Yeah. I think but most of all, just enjoy 2020.
Yes, enjoy 2020.
That's what it's all about.
The year of doubles.
Yeah.
The year of doubles.
Yeah, so watch out for it. The 2nd, I believe someone told me the other day, it was Tuesday, will be the 2nd of February in 2022, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be the 2nd day of the 2nd month in the 2nd year of the 2nd decade in the 2nd millennium. In the 2nd side of Jesus' birth. I guess if you could be really competitive and just go for another 2. But yeah, there's a lot of 2s going on there. So you watch out for that in 2 years and 2 months.
On the 12, 12, 12 or something.
2 years and almost 2 months time.
Yeah, it's got a lot to look forward to.
That's going to be the highlight of the decade.
Yeah, but Ronan, hats off to you.
Hats off to you, Con.
And hats off to all of you guys as well, listening in. And we will speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Day 2020. Day.